Hello, I'm Donald Leggett and welcome to the latest London South East CEO interview. I'm joined today by Alex Stanbury, CEO of Technology Minerals, who completed their IPO today and listed on the main market of the London Stock Exchange. TechMin's focus is battery metals at both ends of the cycle. They see themselves as both explorers for battery metals and also recycling batteries for their full value at the end of a battery's working life. Okay, thanks for joining us, Alex. This journey to IPO and beyond must have been keeping you and the team extremely busy.
Absolutely, Donald. Thank you for having us today. It's been a hugely exciting day for us and really a culmination of a huge amount of work that now sets us on our path to being able to roll out our strategy an awful lot quicker. So yeah, a very exciting day.
Fantastic. Let me start by asking then, how do you describe the TechMin business when you're speaking to those potential investors? No doubt you've been speaking to a lot of those in the past while.
Yeah, I see Technology Minerals as being a very unique business, and it's extraordinarily timely. Really, it's taking advantage of this massive shift change between the internal combustion engine and electronic vehicles. And we can deliver this. We can deliver on two fronts here. Firstly, we have our own exploration projects for all the battery metals to enable us to provide battery metals to the battery manufacturers. And then, even more importantly, really, is the end of life part. There's a huge number of electronic vehicles coming to the road, and at the end of life, all those batteries need to be recycled. And we have our own cutting edge technology, and we are setting up plants in the UK to enable the recycling of all those batteries.
Okay, interesting business model. So where does the Technology Minerals team come from and who's financed the business so far?
Yeah, years of in industry for me, and I met Mr. Brundle a few years back, and we spoke about setting up recyclers, and he was really the perfect man to do this with his years in motorsport and in the car industry. So we then put together an extremely sort of solid team, and I had a team in my back pocket as well from my days in the mining industry as well. So yeah, we've got a really solid team here to move this forward, and we're extremely happy about it.
And here we go. It's main market IPO time. It was oversubscribed. How much did you raise? What will that money be spent on? And in terms of capital allocation, who gets what?
Yeah, it's been a great few months for us, and this today, as I said, is a real culmination of that. We raised over £4 million in pre-IPO. We raised 1.5 coming into the IPO. So this gives us the capital we need to move forward now. An awful lot of that capital we used for setting up our recycling plants. We have 2 sites at the moment, which are in development and will be up and running in January. One for lead acid, one for lithium ion, and we'll really just be rolling those out going forward. We have incredible technology in both of our plants, enabling us to recycle lead acid batteries and industrialize that process, and also for the lithium ion to take that to black mass. So yeah, very exciting there. And then we have our exploration projects as well, all of which are at various stages of development, and some of which we'll be starting to drill as soon as the snows melt.
And whereabouts will those 2 factories be? Where are they physically located?
In the Midlands.
In the Midlands, great. Everyone is pretty familiar with the argument, I guess, which says that the demand for lead and lithium ion batteries is going to not just exponentially, but even greater than exponentially rise as battery cars go mainstream, as you've alluded to. How long do lead and lithium ion batteries actually last? What's their working lives? How long does a battery fueled car last? Is it half that of the battery? Is it the same length as the battery? And will it all last as long as an internal combustion engine car, which if you had a VW diesel could be 200,000 miles?
That's a good question. Actually, batteries do last an awfully long time. The lithium ion batteries, they have an average lifespan of about 10 years. So that does see out the life of most cars. You can, of course, have them replaced. But a lot of our feedstock will be coming from the insurance industry and also from faults. There's a huge number of lithium-ion batteries that end up getting rejected or needing to be removed from cars because of issues with them under warranty. So we have feedstock up front anyway. But yes, 10 years for lithium-ion batteries and about 5 years for lead acid. So there's obviously a huge amount of feedstock in the UK for lead acid batteries, with every car on the road using a lead acid battery. But even going forward, electric vehicles have lead acid batteries in them as well, which powers the dash. So that's not a declining industry either.
Well, that's absolutely fascinating. That takes me very, very neatly into who pays for the recycling to be done. You mentioned insurers, you mentioned faults. Who pays for these batteries to be recycled?
That's a very good question.
Hold on there. What kind of profit can you make from that? What can you make from recycling a battery? And presumably the battery metals are the high margin bit. So discuss the economics of it all for us, please. Talk us through the economics.
Yeah, happily. The economics are quite different between the two batteries. Lead acid is a very old tech and obviously full of lead, which has got a huge amount of value in it by itself. So traditionally, those batteries haven't been sort of terribly well recycled, and it's been a bit of a messy business, but we are industrializing that process. And in doing so, we can recycle all the component parts and extract value from all of them. So there's very good margin in that. But we pay for those batteries. So it's there's an upfront cost. It's not a huge one, but on lithium ion is different. There we're really solving a problem for the battery manufacturers and for the OEMs as well. And for the insurance industry as well. So there we have a gate fee. So yeah, we can then take those batteries back to their constituent parts as well. And there's plastic.
Stop you there. A gate fee.
A gate fee.
What's a gate fee?
It's a recycling term. It means basically you get paid to take what comes in your gate. Right. So it's because we're really solving a problem here for the industry. There's a huge number of lithium ion batteries being produced. And in the UK, at least, and really globally at the moment, very little sort of way of recycling them. So all of the manufacturers, it's an onus upon them to make sure they have end of life responsibility. And in doing so, obviously, we take care of that.
And you think the demand for your services will increase as lead and lithium ion batteries, the supply increases?
Absolutely, we're an ethical and clean, ESG compliant way of getting rid of a massive problem. So I see our growth being very, very large indeed. Okay,
what might the next 2 years look like as you expand that recycling capacity that we've been discussing?
Yeah, the growth plans are to have 4 to 5 lead acid battery recycling plants over the next 4 to 5 years. So over the next 2 years, we'll add 2 more, and on the lithium ion, we'll add 1 more. And then as capacity increases in the UK, we'll add another lithium ion plant as well.
Fantastic. What are your plans for the exploration side of the business? You've talked about exploring for a variety of different battery metals. So where are you with those those licenses and so on? Talk us through that.
Sure. Well, we have 3 licenses or projects in the US, 2 in Idaho, and 1 in South Dakota. The 2 in Idaho are for primary cobalt, and they actually neighbor a large company who will be the first producer of cobalt in the US. So, and we have a huge amount of land next to them, and we've got some very good results coming out there. We are drill ready on one of those sites, so we'll be drilling as soon as the snows melt early next year. Then in South Dakota, we're exploring for manganese, and again getting good results there. We then have projects in northern Spain for nickel, copper, cobalt, and we have a project in Ireland for lithium, which is currently being drilled by a joint venture partner, and a project in Cameroon as well, which is a large nickel laterite project. So they're all at various stages of development, but we have near-term targets for drilling, and the others are on sort of various stages of exploration.
And you'll work as a traditional miner will and release test results, assay results back to the market as and when, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes, continual news flow. Yes, we've got an awful lot going on across our projects. It's really, really exciting. And there's been a massive underinvestment in junior mining over the last decade, which is leading to a forecasted shortfall across the battery metals arena. And there's really nothing to be done to plug that gap, because it takes a good number of years to bring a mine to fruition. So we aim to be a part of the solution, and as well as shortening some of the supply chains. At the moment, the US, for example, don't have any cobalt production or nickel production, and everything has to be imported, which quite frankly is not right. And the same in Europe. And there's obviously European production, sorry, but we aim to increase that in production into the European battery metals supply chain.
What kind of news flow can we expect from Technology Minerals over the next few months? What are the big milestone announcements which will kick that newly IPO'd business share price of yours?
Well, it'll really be the recycling side is extremely exciting. We have our plants, one being installed now, the other one being installed later in December, and they'll both start running in January to be commercially kind of up and running full steam in February. And so that'll obviously have a huge amount of news flow and is extremely exciting for us. It's, at the moment, our cash generation is out of lithium ion trading, and it'll be really, really good to have the plant and our IP up and running properly. And on the mining side, we have obviously our drilling will be the most exciting news flow there.
Yeah, getting those assay results back. Okay, final question. Why should retail investors buy into your company post-IPO? There are many, many new businesses IPOing at the moment. There's a real flood of these businesses coming to the market, and lots of them are really good. Why should people hold your stock?
Yeah, competition's always tough out there, but I feel we're extremely unique. We are the only listed UK battery metals group that has both the ability to extract and also to recycle at the end of life. And also we have patented technology in the UK, British engineers doing recycling lithium ion batteries. Which I think, and lead acid, and I think that's an extremely exciting sector for people to be in. As we've just gone through COP26, the agenda couldn't be more right for what we're up to at the moment. And I think it's the forefront of everyone's minds. It's responsibly taking care of materials at the end of life. Rather than continually extracting new materials, they should be reused. And this is the ethos of our business.
Alex Stanbury, CEO at Technology Minerals. Thank you so much for joining us today. That was absolutely fascinating. Thank you. That was really good. Thank you for answering my difficult questions.
Pleasure.
TechMin will soon have an active chat board in London South East, so please do jump on there and share your thoughts with us all. If you'd like to comment about TechMin on Twitter, our Twitter account is @London South East. And to get alerts to interviews just like this one, just Google London Southeast YouTube channel. So pop that into your computer, Google London Southeast YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, you will get alerts to this interview and all the new content that we produce. Thanks for watching. And as ever, do stay safe.